Fuck me, man. Jesus Christ. Oscar and I have the same sentiment after being cock-blocked by a flamboyant Frenchman. We know how the French are built, right, Anthony Amorati?
I'll never forget the dong on that guy. I miss the Olympics.
Lucky Lando escaped the pirouetting Pierre to pit pole with peppy pace, claiming it by half a second over the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, with Oscar taking third. After Gabe secured 8th in qualifying, it made me think, what does Gabriel Bortoleto and Kevin Garnett have in common?
Anything is possible!
Before the race started, Carlos Sainz Jr. forgot to release his handbrake, and after a lap entered the lane with his car smoking and eventually catching on fire.
Are you saying Lawson finally found the handbrake this weekend?
As the race got underway, Piastri made his way into second, as Antonelli made his way into Max. And yes, Lando was very jealous. After a brief safety car, the action resumed and Oscar was not letting Lando go, remaining in the Brits' DRS lap after lap before a desperate move nearly ended both of their races.
A desperate move nearly had me falling for a Caitlin before. Or was it Bruce? You gotta be careful out there.
McLaren had seen enough and put their cars on differing strategies to keep Oscar away from Lando. A desperate attempt, but like Thanos, Oscar is inevitable. The laps tick over and Pierre and Yuki are looking more like if the Harlem Globetrotters had a Formula 1 team. Oscar gets desperately close to the rear of Lando, but without fail, lapped cars keep getting in the way. If Oscar didn't have bad luck this weekend, he'd have no luck at all. The race ends and Oscar escapes with 15 points over Lando, and Sauber rack up a double points finish.
Even MJ wouldn't have put money on that shit.
Round 1. Player 1. Ready. Player 2. Ready. Fight.
Timbo, where to start? Where to start? Where do you want to start? I'll tell you where to start.
Yep, tell me where to start. Lap 1?
I think we start here. Oh, well, lap 1 is actually a logical starting point, isn't it?
Okay, well, what do you got? What were you thinking?
Alpine still manages to find a way to fuck me over all these years later.
And who's that a quote of?
That's our guy, OP, our guy.
Ah.
Yep. For me, after watching the Austrian GP, that was the most despicable moment of the whole race.
In qualifying?
No, in the race. Colapinto running him off road into the grass.
So did he say that because of that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I actually thought it was a fake. Quote. I didn't know he actually said it.
Yeah, you don't know what's real and what's not out there anymore.
I didn't know it was real. I just assumed it was also based off Pierre in quali.
Well, I'm sure that's rolled into it, right?
Culmination.
Yeah, I mean, Alpine really just made sure to work as hard as possible to destroy his weekend.
That makes more sense. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. No,
how could you forget that moment? That was.
I haven't. I've got it noted, but I'm just saying. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct.
For me, that was just the cherry on top of the whole weekend for Oscar.
Man,
So.
He couldn't buy a trick.
No, he couldn't. But there was multiple. I think that he came up against multiple bad luck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Moments. That just being one of them.
Yep.
But what was a few? Tell me your what stood out for you for this one?
Well, I think again we've seen the team work against him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's nice of McLaren to have let them race in the first stint.
The first 20
First
laps.
stint, yeah. But I think they pretty clearly purposely strategized them away from each other.
They know how to put a leash on their boys when they get out of control, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know if at first Lando's slow stop, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, box him the next lap, which is standard procedure. Box the next lap. And he's in for a shot. But then they don't box him. I was like, all right, maybe they're just like, all right, we've stuffed this up to even things out, pit him a lap later. No, let's not pit him a lap later. Pit him 4-5 laps later, promise him a 4-second delta, but no, we're actually going to fuck your pit stop up too, buddy. Yeah. So you're going to come out, what was he, 5.5, 6 seconds behind Lando?
Yeah.
Like, what a way to just blow the race open in
It does
4
feel
laps.
intentional. But
Yeah.
I mean, what about his engineer radioing in and giving him the option? And he chose.
Well, because he already knew you've already put me in this hole.
Yeah,
I might as well have
it wasn't
the
really
delta.
much of a choice, I guess, was
Yeah,
it?
you might as well give me the tyre delta, and
I'll
we'll
try and make something
something.
of it
But
after.
then again, they promised him 4. They gave him 5.5. He didn't see 4 until like 20 laps later.
Yeah.
Like with the traffic and everything didn't help.
You're right. I agree. I see it your way. I do think that McLaren stepped in and took over the situation just to make sure that something bad didn't happen, like what happened in Canada. And Oscar comes off second best once again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to keep harping on that there's favoritism, but then McLaren consistently do these things that make it seem like if they are forced to back a horse, they're going to back Lando.
I disagree. I do disagree with that still. I do think they, for the safety of the team and the 1-2 in the race, they intentionally got them away from each other on track. But I don't think it was naturally in favour of Lando, but I think it was because he was the lead car. And Oscar probably didn't help his causes with that dumb move down at turn 4.
That
I think
that hurt him.
that was not. I'm actually a bit disappointed in myself, to tell you the truth. And it hurts my heart to say that, but that move, that was very out of character for him.
Yeah, it was, but he got away with it, didn't he? Right?
Barely. And it
Barely,
didn't help
but-
him. And it wasn't.
But he did, right? He didn't
Yeah.
create contact. He didn't just DNF. He didn't lose all his points like Lando did last week.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't take out Lando.
But it was
So-
never a move that was on. That's why I just don't
No,
quite understand. what
it
he
was an
doing.
act of desperation, and I think he saw or felt his window of opportunity had closed or was
Yeah.
closing, that he forced a move that wasn't there. But how is that different to Lando sending it from 2 kilometers back in Canada at that hairpin,
I'll tell you what the difference is.
and Oscar giving him the space?
Exactly. Oscar gave him the space. And that's exactly what could have happened here. Lando could have seen him coming and gave him the space and let him race. Instead, he closed him off. And again, the move wasn't on, but if the move wouldn't have been on in Canada, if Oscar also closed the door, it would have been the same result. You have to back right out of it or there's going to be a collision.
Yeah.
So you're right. It seemed so strange seeing Oscar do something like that when he's always so in control.
Yes, I mean he came into the weekend, into race day, didn't he? Saying, "I don't intend in finishing third."
Yeah.
Now I don't think he intended in finishing second.
No.
I think he wanted to get that win, and he looked like the faster car. Yes, I know that he was living in DRS, but even when he was outside of DRS, he still had awesome race pace.
And they say it's impossible to follow each other in this
well,
era
so they
of
say,
sport.
yeah.
And it's proven to be right. And then this race, he was able to stay with him. I mean, the problem
Well,
with this track,
20
it's-
laps, he put pressure on him.
Yeah,
20 laps, he
exactly.
did not let him
stayed
get
right
out
there.
of the DRS.
Yeah. And we know there was 2 moments, and it hurts watching the highlights back and seeing those 2 moments. Like, he actually got the move done, just went a little bit late, and then nearly got the move done again. And,
Call it a controlled fuck up.
well, I don't know. There was 2 key moments that he could have taken the lead and just quite didn't pull it off, you know. And that's a shame because it would have been interesting to see if Lando had anything and he punched to throw as the car behind, you know.
Yeah, we did miss out, I guess, on a potential counterpunch. I mean, Oscar did get past him briefly
That's what I'm
before he
saying.
locked up, and
Yeah,
then
and it was just a brief lock up.
yeah, it was just enough, wasn't it? Just for him, Lando, to get momentum back on that back straight.
And then
Went to
Lando
DRS.
made the 2 mistakes entering the
Turn
the
10.
last
Yep.
second last 2 corners there.
Yep.
And somehow Oscar didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah, so I think the vision's a little hard to see because obviously there's stones and dust and everything in the air. But I think what had happened was Oscar saw him go off first on the outside, go into turn 10 and go off as well. But he got sprayed with all gravel and everything, and then he actually had a big moment of oversteer. So that's why he didn't have the momentum to just take him
he
quite
should have
easily
been
on the straight.
easily up at turn 1 or something.
Yeah,
you know?
so I think it messed up his line as well, and he kind of followed Lando through there. And I don't know if he also kind of ran off because I haven't seen any vision, but he lost any momentum that he had as well coming onto that front straight. So he couldn't capitalize on that mistake.
No.
I mean, Lando didn't race a perfect race. He certainly made plenty of
they
mistakes
both
too.
made quite a few mistakes, and it just shows. I think the gloves are off in this one. I mean, they finished 17 seconds up the road. Like, this is the first time they've really been able to just
Yeah.
head-to-head race for the win. Dump
It
the rest
was
of the
almost
pack.
everything that we hoped it would be, except that Lando came out on top.
Yeah.
So I think I
just
mean,
don't think it was a fair fight.
Look,
That's what hurts me.
no. I mean, anyone who said it was a boring race, like, are your eyes painted on? Like, that was one of the,
The
best
first-
races of the season
And that's the sad thing. You're right. It was one of the best races of the season for 20 laps.
for 20 laps.
The
and then
next 50 were, as us, fans of Oscar.
I'd still say
it was,
the last 10 where it was like, all right, can Oscar do something? But unfortunately,
the lap
traffic,
traffic was just killing it.
yeah, traffic was playing a negative part once again.
And it's the
in
same as in Canada.
racing.
And this is where it just hurts to watch. You're just like, how is he getting,
Mm.
how's Lando getting so lucky and Oscar just keeps getting fucked up by this traffic?
Yeah.
And like, it's the same with the pits. He'd come out and of course there'd be 2 cars in between him and Lando after that last stop. It's like, he can't catch a trick.
No.
And they're cars that have just pitted as well, who are in a battle amongst themselves. So they're not in an immediate rush to get out of the way. And then they're just close enough to bring on some dirty air. And it's so frustrating to watch. Just like, if this was just a fair fight between these two,
Yeah.
it's a different story. Like we saw when it was just those two and no one else in between, like Oscar could catch him back up, you know, incrementally. But then as soon as there was someone else in the mix, like it just blew the whole thing wide open.
I love seeing you get worked up like this, especially when you got so much thigh showing in those.
Well, it's just for you. The camera can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do feel as though, I don't know. It's probably a qualifying issue again, right? If he is on the front row, he probably has a better shot at getting the win than the position that he was. I mean, he disposed of Charles quick enough, but is he able to make an overtake into turn 1 or on that?
Well,
on
we
that-
saw
on that turn 2 straight.
Lando had to block him at turn 3. So
Yeah.
like I actually think he was in a good spot there. Yeah, we saw Lando chose to cover off the Ferrari instead of Oscar, which then pinched his turn 1 entry, which gave Oscar a good run. So he was actually in quite a good spot. God, it would have been awesome to see him go from third to first in 3 laps. That would have been
No, he almost
an
pulled it off,
unforgettable
didn't he?
moment.
Yeah.
Didn't happen, but I actually think the starting position, interestingly enough, wasn't too bad.
No, I mean, he had a great start. It was the
Yeah.
best start he probably could have done. But when you're talking about a race that came down to, what was it, 1.5 seconds in the end?
I think it blew out a bit because again, lap traffic held position, but I think he
Yeah.
entered the last lap like 1.2 behind him.
Yeah. So then you gotta think about, okay, so started in third, so there's a little bit of a time differential there for sure.
If he started first, like obviously,
All right, Will.
it's the best place to start the race.
He had Colapinto trying to run him off road for.
Not try.
Well, yeah, he did, didn't
This
he?
is
Right,
very
yeah.
successfully.
He had all the lap traffic to just contend with, so it basically just nerfed any potential of an actual battle in those fading laps. He had a botched pit stop. Yes, Lando did as well.
But
Oscar's
was worse.
was worse, and he had a botched strategy where it was like, okay, McLaren. Either way, at the end of the day, McLaren had a 1 and 2 sealed up. So in their mind, I guess they're like, it makes sense for them to be like, all right, let's just control this situation, and it shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
And I would like to hope that Oscar goes into these race meetings with his management, Mr. Mark Webber, and I'd like to think that they sit down and they question these decisions. Why is it this way?
Yeah.
We're both fighting for a world championship here. Why has he been nerfed in this way?
And when we saw when the Mercedes were at the height of their run, they were allowed to. We saw plenty of issues with them being allowed to race, but they would never try and play strategy games on each other. The team was whoever's first gets the priority, the next guy comes in second.
Yeah.
McLaren, yep, free to race. But then they're telling Oscar, oh, hang on, that was a bit marginal. It's like, well, he clearly was. He probably knows. But then why do you need to read him the rule book on how to overtake cars?
Yeah.
For starters. And then,
Well-
then they run out the pit cycle the way they do, which just puts Oscar 6 seconds.
Yeah.
He went from in his DRS for 20 laps, clearly had the pace, to let's just put him 6 seconds behind.
Yeah, yeah. And then, like I said, managed to claw it back, but just had everything against him at the end there. So
Yeah, it wasn't run as a fair race, I don't think, between the two of them.
No.
And they can't say it was.
look, I can't be mad. It was still a very entertaining, thrilling race. I was on the edge of my seat for the whole time.
I was stressed. Nervous.
yeah, not a great state to be in at 1 a.m. in the morning, but you know,
Seeing them go wheel to wheel and seeing it once before and it not go well for Lando, but the potential is always there for it to go wrong
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Yeah. No, it was great to see them have an actual dogfight, and hopefully we get more of that because they're really the only two that can kind of produce this level of high caliber racing, really. You know.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting going into Silverstone now, like who makes what sorts of adjustments, because it's a 15-point gap. I mean, we sort of said last round that, you know, Lando DNFing, not great for him, but he's not out of it. You know, it just takes one bad weekend and the turns table. But even these sorts of races, if Lando, you know, finishes ahead of Oscar, it's 7 points every time into the deficit.
Yeah.
So he's just got to do that 3 times, and then that deficit's
Well,
basically
twice, and it's only a
basically gone.
1-pointer, and you might as well be even,
Well,
Steven.
twice now, yeah. So
yeah,
you know, he's definitely not out of it, and that's why I'm definitely, you know, I'm not quick to go to call Oscar the next world champion. We're both secretly here hoping that's going to be the case.
he's the next world champion.
But you know, I'm well aware that this is a season that could very much go right down to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So
This season has definitely showed me for the first time. It sounds weird to say because I've been watching the sport long enough, and the point structure hasn't changed in the period of time we're watching it. 7 points between first and second is quite a lot.
yeah, I mean, you feel it, right?
Yeah, it allows for, and it's probably good for the sport. It just sucks now that we've got a real horse in the race that
Well-
we're living it. But like 7 point swing is
Well, in another universe, right? If Oscar gets the pass done at some point, doesn't have Colapinto try to kill him, whatever it is, doesn't have Alpine do a 720 in front of him, you know, and he snags a win.
Yeah.
He is
29 points.
29, and
Yeah,
then
huge.
From Lando's perspective, you're probably like
You're
now you're
stressing.
feeling a bit, a bit.
exactly right.
And then does that put him in a mentality of like, okay, now I need to take bigger risks. I can't let him slip away.
Yeah.
You know, and then what does that do? But now it's gone the other way, where it's only was it 14? 15?
Yeah.
15? And now you think, oh, he's got momentum again. He's got confidence again. You know, like
I don't think so. I wouldn't see it that way. I think, again, we've said it all season. It's a season where qualifying, and Bortolotto is the perfect example. Qualifying is, and Lawson, qualifying is the racing this year for the most part.
Yeah.
And this is just a race where Lando did better.
yeah. I mean,
And was aided, let's not forget, with the fucking rest of the competitors not getting a lap in, mind you. Like, he was aided with all that and got the pole.
nothing pisses me off more than reading all the shit of like, Lando got a half a second deficit on qualifying, the biggest of the season on the shortest track of the season, and it's like,
He's the
okay,
only
is anyone
one who
actually
got-
watching?
Exactly. He's the only one who got a run.
Yeah, like not even Max did.
Yeah.
Max loves this track. Like, if you asked me at the start of the weekend,
And look what happened to Max because of it.
yeah, he's in 7th, and then he gets
Taken out.
yeah. So it could have, it definitely qualifying really set
And
up a narrative for how the race was going to
Before
go.
this race, I think I saw Oscar's 4 poles to Lando's 2 or 6 poles to Lando's 2. Something like that. There was a huge
I think
delta to
Four,
to
six,
Oscar.
yeah.
It was definitely, Lando only had 2.
Yeah.
Oscar might have been 4 or
So
6. It was 4
four,
or 6,
yeah.
but huge swing towards Oscar. So, like, he's clearly been just fine in quali. He didn't get a chance this race. So, I think without overreacting off of what just happened, I wouldn't say he's got the momentum. When we heard him, please help me. He's saying this on the radio. Please help me.
I mean-
help me find some pace. It's like, that was telling.
That-
Oscar's heard that since and has just gone, I've got it rattled. I've got him in a fucking cage here.
Yeah. The only thing that saved him was lap traffic.
Yeah.
I wish they could find a better solution. Like, I've got to save for later, so probably shouldn't go too far into it. But in what world are you racing so hard for 14th that you're not aware where the race leaders are? You know you're there. We know that the engineers would have radioed to tell them, you got race leaders coming up, give them space. And you're so worried about getting revenge on Yuki in 14th or whatever the fuck was going on there that you're not paying attention. And I mean, if he was taken out and lost all of those points, I mean, can you imagine how sickening that would have been?
All right, well, let's get into the categories then, because I feel like we're starting to step all over it.
All right. Final boss.
So I've got McLaren, because
Yep.
fuck your noise about the winner has to be the final boss.
Well, it makes sense, but yeah, I guess that's fair play to
I
say.
think that
say
it
McLaren.
was Lando won the race over Oscar heavily due to McLaren's strategic mind games, which we've spoken about. So
Yeah.
I've given the final boss to McLaren. Congratulations, you got a 1-2.
Yeah.
That's what you come in aiming for.
Well, you kind of pointed out there, basically double the points of second in the constructors.
That's
So
wild.
it's
Considering
completely
going
wrapped
into
up.
this race, what's his name? Maxi Pad there was in contention. Wasn't far behind.
Yeah.
Lando. You know, so the fact that the drivers was quite a nice stepping stone between drivers, no blowouts. Then the constructors is just already a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
They've already got McLaren on the trophy
Yeah.
etched up.
Yeah,
so,
exactly right.
Yep.
No, they're
I'm
finished.
pretty sure it's already at their factory. Yeah, so, I did still give mine.
It'd take a cheating saga for them to lose the
Yeah.
the constructors.
Well, Flavio's back in the
Yeah,
field, so
yeah,
you
yeah.
know who knows who could happen. I still gave mine to Lando because,
of course you'd.
well, look, I think you're right. I think McLaren are the final. I mean, they dominated the weekend, start to finish, basically. They had a perfect weekend. They still got a 1-2, no one DNFs. They raced hard. They gave us as fans great racing. Sign me on for that every week. You know, it would be great if there was other teams involved. That would be great too.
Yeah, we didn't see much of anyone else, did we?
No,
Especially
no,
after
it was
Ferraris.
just all about the McLaren show.
And again, so it should be.
But I still think I have to give some credit to where credit's due. Lando still put the lap together. I mean, that 1 minute 4 seconds 0.9. That was a good lap. Like, that was a fast lap. He clearly was the fastest, and I think even if Oscar and Max got a final lap in, they're probably not pipping him. It's just
No,
got
he
a
was the
half a second
fastest.
margin.
He was the fastest all weekend.
Yeah.
Like through up until the race.
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
And then, you know, he soaked up the pressure. He did. Like, Oscar did not let up on him, and I commend Oscar for that.
Yeah.
But he soaked it up. He only made a couple of little errors and came away with the win. So, you know, good on him. But curse of the home race next week. So
Hopefully.
let's see if he can actually string two GPs together and like actually take this fight to Oscar in the championship, or whether he takes another backward step. And you know, I've said it before, whenever Oscar has had a weekend he doesn't feel has gone his way, he usually reacts and he comes out with force. And I think he would leave disappointed with how the weekend went, because I think look at the colourful language he was using on the radio, which we don't often hear from him.
No.
He was very vocal about, I don't intend on finishing third, and great, that's how it should be.
Yep.
I think he's well aware that there's still a fight on his hands, and he's going to have to make the most of every opportunity. And I think he would have felt that he let an opportunity go this weekend, so he'll feel that he needs to make amends next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This is go time. This time of the season now, you're at just about mid-year. Like, you need to start. And I think we saw it in Canada, the way he let third place go. Like, he's now starting to see that championship as the target.
Yep.
I think it was actually, to be honest, it was disappointing seeing him get out of the car, and he was quite happy,
Well,
content. I was fuming. I want him to get out of the car, and, you know, yes, he's media trained. He's not going to say anything.
No.
The body language is telling.
Yeah.
I want him to get out of the car and be miserable and be angry and be looking for Mark, looking for him.
I think he would have if he didn't have that lockup. I think he knows that the lockup is, they'll just hold that against him.
He didn't fucking crash his car.
No, but McLaren will treat it that way, because they would have been like, this is unacceptable. We've made the rules clear. We don't want a repeat of what happened last weekend. So
Which had
even though
nothing to do with him.
No,
At all.
no, but we know that that's how they're going to approach it. So, and he's media trained. He's not going to speak out.
He's not
against
going to
the
say
media.
anything, obviously. And it's good. You shouldn't. You
No.
shouldn't talk badly on the car and the team and whatnot. But
No.
body
Oh,
language.
to be a fly in the wall on their racing meetings, I would just love to know
Need some...
what's said. Like, I don't know if Drive to Survive is going to have much behind-the-scenes access to this sort of stuff. I mean, clearly this season is all about these two guys.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they've got a crew following them as much as possible. Probably unlikely, and we're probably never going to really see what's going on, but to be a fly on the wall.
It takes a real... Drive to Survive fanboy to bring up Drive to Survive at a time like this.
Well, that's the only way we ever get any kind of behind the scenes. Like,
Yeah, but
you know
it's
what's even
not
funny
that-
to me
it's so...
is how locked out Sky Sports is on the broadcast. Like there's places that they can't go. There's places they can't show. They can't just walk into any pit crew. They can't just walk up to any driver. Like they keep everything
Netflix.
so protected.
Yeah.
But Netflix, they have unrestricted access, and then it's basically up to them what they capture and what they show. So
Yeah. No, you're right.
anyway,
So my noob, I've got Franco Colapinto
okay.
for pushing off Lando. Oscar, as we spoke.
Yeah.
I will say
Yep.
it was hard to pick the bottom feeders. Like we've got a few categories here that gives a nice shout out to the shit kickers.
A lot of them had a messy race, didn't they?
It was hard to actually go, what is more deserving of
Yeah.
a noob ranking and a trash bro ranking?
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few
I have a
were
feeling
worthy.
we'll have the same, but maybe in
mixed
flipped.
up. Yeah.
So I gave my noob to Antonelli because I think that is a noob move.
Yeah.
That is just not really having been in that situation before, being caught out by the braking,
Yeah.
you know, having a heavy car load, probably
What did he blame? He
Uh,
locked the rears, but
locked the rears, but I think caught out on the braking line,
I think so.
swerved to
we
get
saw,
away, and it
we
was
saw he
basically,
ducked out.
who
and
do I
then-
want to hit?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It is noob. I've got him elsewhere, but
I don't think he's look, I think he handled it right. He went straight up to Verstappen. He apologized and
He's just
obviously
lucky.
explained what happened.
he's lucky he's caught 2025 Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
But we saw.
not 2020 Max Verstappen.
I was going to say we
Yeah.
saw 2020 Max Verstappen at Brazil get taken
Yeah.
out by Ocon, and he pushed him and shoved him, and
Yeah.
you know he could have absolutely copped it.
No. I mean, yeah. Let's not go down Max's thought process.
Yeah, he wasn't
too
in
much,
this race.
but
Let's
yeah. He was
Treat it that way.
he was sitting on the bench,
yeah,
enjoying a extra time off.
yeah.
So-
Watching Le Mans.
Yeah. So, but I think I don't think there's anything again really for Antonelli to worry about. It was just probably being in a.
He'll learn from it.
Yeah.
We've seen plenty of drivers make that mistake.
Yeah. And if anybody's happy, it would be Toto because, you know, if there's any car you're going to take out, aim for Max.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as we know, the McLaren Red Bull rivalry is deep and fierce.
I mean, is it?
So Toto probably at the end of the day still probably gave him the pat on the back and said, "Good
Yeah.
job."
Yeah. Is it coincidence the first time we saw the McLarens allowed to engage in fight is when their closest title rivals out of the race?
Yeah.
Like, is that a coincidence, or were they like, "Whoa, this is a free kick for us"?
Yeah.
All right, use go. We'll chalk one up in the fans' books here.
Yeah.
One for the fans.
All right.
Buffed. I've got Sauber and Bortoletto.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep.
Clearly, self-explanatory. They upped their game clearly to qualify.
Making a lot of other teams look silly, aren't they?
I mean, in a race where no Max, no Antonelli, and no two Williams, and one of those Williams generally scores points, that's 3 points positions up for grabs.
Yeah. That's fair,
Bortoletto
yeah.
put himself in a position to earn points, but I've got Sauber because Hulkenberg got himself into the points as well.
Yeah.
So they took advantage, and there was a Haas as well, picking fuck out Haas, right?
Yeah.
They took all the opportunities they could, and they got a double points finish. First time since 2023 at Qatar.
Well, I did notice as well, there was a lot of Sauber jerseys out in the stands. And one of the commentators actually mentioned, I can't remember who, because
Who knows who the commentators are?
yeah, they just change every fucking week, and we don't have the OGs for whatever reason again. But whoever it was made a good point of it, and I thought, who's buying Sauber jerseys again, especially like as Hulk and as Gabby? Like
Yeah.
who's lining up at the Sauber tent to pick up those jerseys? But there's clearly something going on. They've got a bit of momentum here.
Yeah. Well, Audi maybe they're dipping their fingers in a little early.
Yeah, like it. Maybe that's it. Maybe what's his name, Mattia
Binotto, yeah.
Binotto. Maybe he's got the secret sauce. You know.
It's actually funny bringing up their merch. Well, I was watching some of the pre-race stuff, and they were walking up the grid as they do, and I spotted Binotto.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he just looks like a fan. Like their team gear.
Yeah.
Is just a polo
Yeah.
and pants. Like
He's
he's gone from Ferrari.
It's very understated.
tucked in, probably button up,
Yeah.
very professional, to your team principal at Kick Sauber.
You know what it's like?
and you get a fan merch T-shirt.
It's like in dodgeball where Vince Vaughn's
Yeah,
gym is like, you know,
average Joes.
average Joe's. Yep, that's like Sauber.
Yeah.
And and
Ferrari are like Ben Stiller's team, and they're all kitted up.
yeah, and they're all their
that's exactly
Yeah.
it.
all of their facilities are top notch, and
Yeah.
everybody's like
got the
just
full
sexy
uni.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
what it's like. All right, so for my buff, I actually gave it to Ferrari, which is, Sauber probably deserve it more, but it is still, what, an 8th and 9th? So it's kind of like good for
A
them.
double
but
points finish for a team that hasn't had it in 2 years.
Yeah, it's still, they definitely probably do deserve the chocolates, but I don't know, Ferrari just quietly,
Yeah, they bumped up. I mean, they were, we talked about it earlier in the season, they're probably the 4th fastest car behind Williams at one point.
Yeah.
Williams obviously on a downward spiral, and
On a weekend where Red Bull just shit the bed, they were there, but the drop-off from Mercedes is just
bit
unexplained. I mean, I know Antonelli had his issue, but George just went from winning a Grand Prix and looking very convincingly dominant to a point of like, well, hang on.
Yeah.
Are Mercedes actually in
Mercedes
this?
have notoriously struggled in the heat.
Yeah.
Even right through their peak.
That's what it has to be, right?
Yeah.
So, to just being nowhere. So, Charles, qualified second, finished third. That's probably where he was always going to end up.
On a track where you can overtake,
Yeah. And then Hamilton had a pretty good race. Seemed to be pretty happy with the car. There's still a lot of uncomfortable radio messages between them. He wanted to extend his final, his second stint.
Yeah.
And they basically made him pit and took him certainly out of contention of the podium.
Yeah.
Which to me says if there's a number one guy in that team, it's very clear who that guy is now. If you're
gonna enter the season with 2 number ones and then let the results decide the way, it's pretty clear.
Oh yeah.
There'd be no reason for them to be making any alterations to the pecking order there.
No.
It's funny because you give buff to Ferrari, who are maybe going from the 3rd quickest car to the 2nd quickest car, whereas I've given it to Sauber, who've gone from like the 10th quickest car to like the 4th this weekend. So I'd say they're the buffed team.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Ferrari collect more points, and
so they should.
They've just looked like a laughing stock basically
but their
all season.
laughing stock is finishing 7th and 8th.
Yeah. So
that's their equivalent of a laughing stock.
They've had a nice little buff.
All right. My Nerfed is Kimi Antonelli's Rookie of the Year campaign.
No, he's still like 40 points ahead of the next best, which I think is
I had to find a way to put him in here, like I said.
Did you?
Yeah, well, because I've got someone else I want to put in trash, bro.
Okay, all right.
But, I mean, I don't think Bortoletto's made a mistake like that. I don't think he's gone and skittled a bunch of cars, as an example.
Yeah.
Lawson's scratched him off the card. He's no longer a...
So if you're saying that he's no longer the Rookie of the Year...
I'm not saying he's no longer.
Well,
I'm just saying
like
this race is certainly a tick in the con column.
Okay. And what does that mean in the bigger picture?
Nothing. I'm just saying you can't just go Rookie of the Year goes to the rookie who got given the best car.
Yeah.
You got to look at their overall performance of the year. No doubt he'll get it because people are very simple. And they'll go, hey, you finished 7th in the championship as a rookie. Oh, here you go. Whereas Bortoletto, here, brother, you got the shittiest car on the grid. Good job for qualifying 8th in Austria. I mean, what other rookies are there really that deserve Hadjar, he might be the only other one, but he's plateaued a little bit just with his performance. Has gone a bit quiet.
Yeah, not great for him having Lawson finish above him.
Yeah, but I think Bortoletto, in all honesty, he's having a quietly decent rookie season. I mean, he's been able to put it to his teammate. Yeah. He hasn't done anything stupid. Yeah, and he's now pulled a result out, some type of result.
Yeah, so. It's still early days. Like, I mean, let's not start sucking his dick too much when
I'm not sucking nobody's dick. I'm just saying, Kimmy's made a rookie error. You put him in noob.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying.
All right, okay.
Something to watch. I'll check the odds after. Should have checked it before, but I don't think so.
Do your job.
I'll update it. I'll update next week.
Okay, so for Nerf, then I gave it to Verstappen and Red Bull. They pretty much just got.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it is, but that's a top tier team that it's their home Grand Prix. It's Verstappen's home Grand Prix. They had to sit out of it, and then
it's Red Bull's,
what the fuck is Yuki doing?
This is the thing. This is why I didn't put him there. I was like, Yuki's just doing Yuki things. Yuki's just doing number 2 things that car's doing. Like that.
Who do you blame more then? Who do you blame, Red Bull or Yuki?
Yeah. I mean, but that's not abnormal, him finishing down there. And then Max.
But he was finishing higher in a racing balls.
He was, but that's what I'm saying. Like, for the team, if you look at the number 2 car, This is very standard stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Yuki's doing right now. And then Max, we know circumstantially qualifying didn't go his way to put him down there, and then he gets taken out.
Yeah.
So, yep, I'm sure
They-
they're very not happy at all about how the race unfolded. But I don't think they're nerfed on pace
Oh no, not at all.
necessarily.
But they've just been. They were basically completely a non-event,
Yeah.
a non-factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're
in the
100%
whole
right.
weekend. So.
With that.
Verstappen's championship bid, whilst it is very
It's taken
minimal,
a huge hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Two
taken-
race wins and a bit behind now.
taking another hit. Again, it's a home Grand Prix. It's definitely a track that he usually loves, and basically half a lap he's having to sit out of it. And then watching Yuki's post-race interview, it's just shades of Ricciardo. It's just he's got that like
They just don't know what's
Dead
going
look.
on with it, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, I
He-
don't know.
no answers. Yeah,
I mean,
just dead
Lawson,
inside,
to be
looking
honest,
like
was
on the
the
verge
same.
of tears.
Lawson was the same.
Yeah.
He only had 2 races, but again, he'd get out and just be perplexed. Like, I know what you're saying. Like,
is Josh in the-
Verstappen just won the race, but
Is Josh in the garage and he's just sabotaging that second car just to
Yeah.
make sure his boy's not put under any pressure? Like,
yeah, maybe
what is going on?
he's got a bit of witchcraft going on it. or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, Alpine had an atrociously bad weekend, and yet somehow they still pull out a better result.
Well, you know what's funny? If Max leaves, it's going to take him years to rebuild that car. They're going to be so lost. They're going to be like, well, we've just built a Max machine, and he's gone now, and no one can drive this thing.
Well, I see all this as like Max is gonna leave. Like things are falling apart. Red Bull
Yeah.
look like a bit of a laughing stock at the moment, and you look at Mercedes. They don't have, a McLaren, but they certainly have a car that's still capable of winning races.
Yeah. In the hands of George
I'm
Russell.
sure nobody wants to touch Ferrari because look at what it's doing to poor old Hamilton. And then Aston Martin have a lot of talent and a lot of money. So I do think at the moment, as things stand, he's smart. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to allude to anything. He's
No.
still got time up his hands. But I honestly reckon he's either going to join forces with Toto or he's going to join forces with Aston Martin.
I don't think he
because-
picked Mercedes. I mean, teams don't generally back-to-back dominate regulations. I
Mm.
mean, I know Mercedes haven't dominated this one, but I don't see them going into the next generation and then just all of a sudden they're back. You know what I mean?
But if you've got the best driver on the grid, and let's just call him the best driver on the grid right now, and you give him a decent enough car, I mean, it appears that Red Bull's giving him a subpar car. Why is he not a championship contender, a legit championship contender again? Especially when you've got a team with 2 number 1 drivers who are constantly taking points off each other. He can easily swoop in and
Yeah.
I think it will come down to his mentality of whether he wants to retire and move on and do something else and race somewhere else,
I think
or
he'd be
whether
that
he wants
type
to
of-
stay in and go for records.
Yeah, I think he'd be more of the first category there.
Yeah.
I think he'd be like, I'm a 4-time world champion.
Mm.
Like, as far as time in the category and achievements I've made, I've broken records.
Yeah.
I want to have the most poles, race wins, fastest laps. But if you look at how young he is doing those things, he's probably very close to it.
Well, and that's what
No
I'm
one's
saying.
going
Like,
to
if
sit
he
there and
wants
go,
to,
he's a chump because he's only got 60 or 70 race wins.
no,
He's got nothing to prove.
no, but no one really, no one really cares about those guys. Like, yeah, you mentioned and you're used as a marker for sure, but if you're talking about the best to ever do it, there's only 2 names that are always mentioned, and if he wants to be the best to ever do it, he's going to have to look for the team that's going to give him the car that does that. So
Yeah.
and I don't
But
think it's going to be
I'd
Red Bull.
respect him just fine. I mean, no one's impressed with Hamilton right now.
No, not
No
even
one's
Hamilton
impressed
is.
with Hamilton right now.
Yeah.
If after that 2021 calamity, if he decided that's it, all the respect in the world, brother. All the respect in the world.
He almost should have,
In
Looking back
hindsight.
on it, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy to think it's 5 years since he won a championship?
Yeah, like where did that go? Yeah.
I thought about that today. I was like, 5 years. I still think of him as being a very recent world champion. Half a decade.
Well, that's the max domination, isn't it? We had to just endure a very boring, painful
Mhm.
period of just Red Bull domination, a la Max. But
Yep.
yeah, imagine that. Imagine if he just hung up his helmet and then we didn't see him for 5 years, and we're
Yeah.
just like, man, that just broke him.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sweaty Try Hard. This is where I put Liam Lawson.
Okay.
I did have to give him a somewhat positive
Yeah.
category to put him in.
I knew how much that would cut you.
Yeah, I feel like this was the real middle ground. This isn't going over the top. I'm not giving him too much credit, but I have to give him a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Somehow was the fastest Red Bull car in qualifying and race.
Does that mean he's an Aussie again, or?
Fuck me. No chance. That ship sailed.
Yep. All right. Well, in my category for your trash bro.
Whoa, sweaty try hard.
Oh, sorry, sweaty try hard. I actually gave it to Alonso. I think he was
Putting a bit of respect on his name.
Yeah, I think he
raced hard.
He raced hard. He did. I mean, look at what he did on the last lap. I mean, he was basically overtaking Lando to keep his position,
Against
utilizing
his
the
young
DRS.
fella.
But
Yeah.
like I guess he's showing his craftiness still and his experience, like that he's able to do those maneuvers, but not risk.
Yeah,
you know,
he's not going to take out Lando. He's been the driver dominating races before, and he wouldn't have been happy about it.
Got out of the car, literally sweating.
Yeah,
Went straight up to Gabby and they were just high fiving each other and just
doing weird, cute things.
yeah, kissing each other and just he was obviously got the blood pumping for him again and
Yeah,
made him
we've
realise
seen
why
this from him. The
why
last
he
3 or
loves doing
4
this still.
yeah.
So
Last 3 or 4 races, like I've shouted him out every pod just based on how hard he's racing. It's not often you see these drivers out there
no, I mean
doing that.
it's even more funny when you think how he started the weekend. And I don't know if you saw this, but FP1, his first lap coming out, you know, he's doing his warm up lap to start to ready to like get the tires in.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up to turn 10 to start his first like flying lap, and he just spins it.
Oh, true.
It's like literally starts his weekend with a spin, and he even radioed in and said something like, "Not how we wanted to start the weekend" or whatever. And I just thought,
I think
like,
he's just so lighthearted now. He's just next year's his last ditch effort.
well,
and
in
he
my
knows that.
mind, I'm thinking, God, this guy's just gonna go. Like, come on.
Isn't it
Obviously,
funny?
we saw half the grid spinning there in the end, so you know,
Yeah.
I was catching everyone out. But and then he, you know, doesn't let it affect him. Why would it? Qualifies really well, certainly making Stroll look just pathetic.
making him look like a stroll.
Yeah, and then collects a good amount of points, and he races.
Yeah.
He races hard. So
That's what's been impressing me. Like the start of his season was awful. No points for so long. Like Stroll, it was outscoring him, and then he's just gone the last 3 or 4 races back to where he kind of needs to be, and if anything, just slightly ahead of that car.
yeah,
You know, taking advantage of everything that he can to make most of it.
no, I'd love to see it. I mean, that was probably the best on track racing outside of the McLarens, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I've got some stuff later on about some of the non-McLaren shit.
All right, so your trash bro.
Mhm.
I'll give you mine first. So this is where I have Colapinto. So for me, you know, you could say that the move and everything was noobish, but to me, this is like, we traded doing for you. You're doing this shit. We traded doing for you. Like Flavio is backing you. The next center. Like, what is this shit?
Well, Flavio wasn't saying it.
No,
I actually
no,
think Flavio's quite.
it was probably the Argentinian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flavio's actually, from what I understand, he's been quite critical of him as well.
Yeah.
I just hope we see.
But he's extended him, so now he's got another 5.
Why
Yeah.
4?
No,
I was
exactly.
literally about to say.
Exactly.
I
What
just
has he
hope we
done?
see the fairness go. All right, you one more race, and then even if you put Jack back in the car, just put someone else.
No,
in.
this is proof that money is more
Yeah,
important to
no,
them, and he's
that's
obviously coming with a bag
Yeah.
because he has not been racing well at all.
Well, I mean, what was his criteria? Be fast, get points, don't crash.
Yeah.
Not done any of
he's
that.
not, no.
None
And then-
tick none boxes.
And then you have no race awareness for what is going on around you, and you almost take out a championship contender.
The
Can you
championship leader.
imagine- Yeah, well, yeah. Can you imagine the uproar if he did? Like, luckily Oscar has his wits about him and was watching what was unfolding in front of him, and was able to keep control of the car in that precarious
Put all
predicament.
4 tyres on the grass to get around that dickhead.
Yeah.
Honestly. Mine's Yuki Tsunoda.
Yep, fair.
He's very trash. Very trash. He finished 2 laps down. He finished 2 laps down. He got 2 penalties, I think.
Yeah.
He had to pit for a new front wing.
You know, if there's any positive you can take away, at least he didn't do the
Tell me what the positive is.
he didn't do the old Hamilton.
Retire the car.
Well, no, just retire the car, save the engine.
No, well, they'd be like, brother, you need practice. You need more racing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually asking, can we get the track back next week?
Yeah.
Can you stay here while we go to Silverstone?
Yeah.
That's their mindset.
Yeah, he's having a rough one. You know how rough it is? This is how rough it is. Last weekend was his 100th Grand Prix race, and nobody said boo.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's like, let's just
That's the
let's
thing.
give him
It's,
space. let's give him
exactly. That's
space.
what it's been since the ditching of Lawson. They've given Yuki like let him settle in.
Yeah, poor old Lawson.
I'm wondering. I'm still, at this point, the most exciting thing is what are they going to do with that car next year? Who are they going to put in it?
Well, apparently there is development drivers. Obviously,
But they're not
Vettel
gonna
is
put-
still attached to being
God,
the
it's just-
driver developer dude, so he might be able to level the ship and actually allow them to develop their drivers properly and play the long game. But
I mean, the obvious is going to be what's his name? The French fella, the other RB, not Lawson.
Hajar,
Yeah, but then I
Yeah.
feel like you got to ruin him by putting him in that car.
we'll see. Well, how hilarious would it be if Aston Martin snagged Vettel? If they were just like,
that would be fun.
yeah, hey, we're here. You want to come back into F1?
Yeah.
Why don't you come and develop our
Yeah.
drivers?
Pair back up with Nui and
Yeah,
hard luck, Williams.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double DNF. Obviously, signs off the line had some kind of failure.
Yep.
I can't remember what happened to Albon. Was it his doing, or did he have just a failure?
I
as
think
well?
just a failure. They just tried the car.
So,
Yeah,
That's
big
pretty
fall
bad
from
luck.
grace for them. Yeah.
Pretty bad luck.
This is where I had Oscar. So I think he raced a great race, but was just came up against everything. Everything was going against him. Not one thing went his way. If just one or two things did, I think he probably pulls off a win. And this is what worries me.
Mhm.
Right now, Lando has all the luck. And if you're going to be a world champion, you need a good amount of luck. Skill, talent,
Can get you so far.
get you so far, but luck is a massive piece of that pie. And Lando just seems to have more than Piastri at the moment. That's worrying. To me, that's worrying. I'm like, this guy, the amount of luck that this guy has, he might still just snatch it away from Oscar.
I mean, you never know how often you'll be in the championship hunt, but if Lando gets this one based off of luck, it'll be the only one he gets.
They won't play it like that, though. It will be the only one he gets, but they,
Oscar will learn. If Oscar doesn't
British
pull it
media is just unbearable. I can't stand it. I can't read it anymore. Like they're just so blind, and I almost like. I just hope that Oscar can, put him straight.
Yeah.
And because they're just choosing to believe what they want to believe. I don't think Lando's a bad driver. He's clearly
They're quite similar.
they are
clearly.
very similar.
I mean, but that's saying a lot considering Oscar's in his third year. Right. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I think if Oscar doesn't pull it off this year, I think he would have learnt so much. It's just going to benefit him next year and ongoing. The problem is the change of regulations. Like I said, you just never know when you're going to be back in contention like this.
Yeah.
It's been a long time for McLaren. So
Yes.
that's the thing. This year could be all or nothing for both drivers with McLaren, at least.
Yeah.
So it's very important that Oscar gets it done. But if Lando gets it and it's a lot of luck involved, it'll be the only one he gets.
Yeah. Next category.
AFK. So I've got 3rd to 20th place. Very much coverage centric around McLarens, which again, like I said, it should be.
Yep.
But yeah, you didn't see much of the rest of the pack. Besides my next.
Too bad if you were like a
my next
Gasly
category.
fan or something.
Well, my next category, just to super quickly step on it, is side quest Pierre Gasly.
Well, there you
was-
go.
That was the only other thing we'd see was him just constantly getting overtaken.
Yeah. Well, my AFK was Carlos Sainz for
Literally, AFK from the race.
Yep, not making the grid, literally living up to the title.
Yep.
Poor guy. he's just having a rough.
Not so
rough
smooth
season.
operator these days.
He's I mean, he had a good run with Ferrari there for a bit. Hamilton's come in, he's feeling the Ferrari pain, but somehow Sainz is having to deal with more pain in Williams at the moment.
Yeah,
so-
well, we thought he'd go into that team and just be the go-to, the number one, the hero, the savior. But Albon's
just
friggin'
everything.
stepped it up out of nowhere.
Well, he has, and then everything is just going wrong for him. I mean, when's the last time you saw a car not take off on the formation grip and then catch fire so violently too?
I thought
and
they
then
would just send him, and I was going to respect that decision.
yeah. Yeah, it was great viewing. I mean, it means we had to stay up an extra 10 minutes,
yeah.
which was hard. But
Well, who's your side quest then?
so side quest, I did give this one to Max Verstappen. So obviously he got taken out, and then they asked him if he watched the race, and he said no. I tuned into the Le Mans instead.
Yeah.
So I think it just shows that he's a pure racer at heart, and I don't know. Even when he's not in the races, and even when he's not like competing for wins or championships, I still like the way he approaches things. Like, I think F1 needs guys like him. They're the old school F1 types of drivers where I'm here to race, I'm here to win, I don't care about anything else. He's out of the race, so he's checked out. I'm going to go watch Le Mans because he clearly has interest in it as a racer.
He's got a team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't go to the movie events, can't be fucked with any of that. I commend.
Look, I
I commend him.
I understand what you're saying. I don't like it in the sense that you still got a teammate involved.
Come on.
No, I'm
Do you
serious.
think he cares about Yuki?
He doesn't, but that's what I'm saying.
Red Bull don't even care
How
about
often
Yuki.
do you see? But you often see the other driver. They'll stick around. They'll stay in tune. Can they be of any assistance? Like,
Have you ever seen Red Bull do that?
no, Red Bull are very cutthroat, and Max as well. But
Not even with like the bromance that Danny Rick and him had there for a bit. You wouldn't really ever see that. That's just stupid. That's just stupid.
I just want my drivers to have some respect for one another. Have some commendation. Have some camaraderie.
You're sounding like George. Can we make sure we get some water to all the mechanics out?
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's
All
move
right.
on. The 30-degree ambience. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How can they?
Yeah.
How can they possibly survive in the 30-degree heat?
Yeah.
They've been to Australia, right? They come here
holding
every.
the umbrellas for them. Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yes, George. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Make sure you guys drink alright.
Okay. Easter egg. Who do you have for this weekend?
So my Easter egg goes to Red Bull, ending their 77 race streak of scoring points.
Is that a fact? Is it?
As a fact, it goes back to Bahrain 2022 when they had the double DNF due to engine issues after the regulations swapped over.
Wow, that was the last time they had a double DNF too.
So this is the second time in the regs that they're about to regs are about to be over.
Yeah.
Double non scoring finishes.
Tell you what, Red Bull have been stripped of everything, and it's all going to Aston Martin. So they might be the new Aston Martin soon.
Yeah.
If they're not careful.
Yeah, they're quickly heading down that direction.
All right, so my Easter egg, did a lot of searching for this one, but I found this little nugget. Eric Banner was in the McLaren garage supporting his fellow countrymen. That was
How good's Eric Banner?
great to see. Yeah, he looked good too.
What's your favourite Eric Banner movie?
Ooh, it probably is.
Don't say Hulk.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot he was Hulk. Yeah, I forgot he was Hulk. Probably what's the is it Troy?
Troy.
Yeah, where he's like a Spartan. I'm pretty sure that's with Brad Pitt actually as well.
I got no idea. You've lost me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I really like. It's not really a movie. It's called Beast.
I knew you were gonna say it. You're so predictable.
That was so good. That was so good. And then I also like he did the mini series on Netflix a little while ago. I can't remember who it was about though, but it was based on true shit. It was good. Eric Banner's good.
No, I didn't see that. The only other...
He's a car nut, hey.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's often,
which I'm surprised we haven't really seen him around F1 more.
like he normally does about the 6 hour
Yeah.
every year and competes, and he loves it.
He did that movie Funny People where he plays like an Australian husband or whatever, and he's pretty funny in that too. So he's got some comedy about him too.
I like it.
So yeah, good to see him. Good to see. It's always good to see like other Aussies kind of getting involved in the hype in what Oscar's doing. So just wish it was us.
Yeah, well, one day we'll get there.
All right, let's do the ranks.
All right, so bronze. I've given bronze to Nico Hulkenberg for essentially getting into the points and not qualifying there, having to race up the grid to get into the points paying positions there, right behind his teammate.
Yep.
Even with all the team orders they were trying to implement constantly between the two of them, he still managed to overcome and get a point or 2 points.
Yep.
Silver, Liam Lawson.
Yep.
6th place, qualified 6th, fastest Red Bull in qualifying and the race. Gold, Fernando Alonso. for everything we've said before about his great racecraft
Yep.
and racing prowess and just his joyous nature these days.
Sure.
good
You
to
you just love any excuse to get him in there.
I
But
do.
yep.
I do. He deserves it.
Sure.
He's a
Hey,
He's a
short
hero.
list. Short list.
platinum Lando Norris.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Controversial. Maybe.
Why?
Maybe in the eyes.
He
of
was
some.
not the quickest car during the race.
Yep.
Oscar Piastri takes out Diamond on Lando's tail as much as he could be. He got the fastest up the race. He had Lando fucking begging his engineer,
Yeah.
please help me.
Yeah. Send help.
Please help me. I've got no pace. Please help.
There was some panic in his voice too, wasn't there? Yeah.
You
Okay.
got any gripe with that?
Look, the list I'll give 3 stars. 3 stars out of 5.
All right, what do you got?
All right.
I don't like it.
My ranked.
Shit.
Bronze. Gabby.
Okay.
Did you have him?
No.
Yeah, nice. But hang, you put
I've got
Hulk
him
in there,
out.
but
I've-
you didn't-
Yeah, because
Okay, that's my gripe right there. You put Hulk in,
one
but you
position difference. Gabby qualified there, finished there. Nico had to race into that one less position behind him.
Okay.
I swear we say this every week, but you have always been like qualifying doesn't revert the points.
And
He had and Nico Hulkenberg qualified out of the points, raced into the points,
and Gabby scored more points than him.
fucking one more point because he qualified.
Still more. Do you know how points work?
Anyway, Silver, you got
Silver. I gave it to both Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. I couldn't decide. Ferrari raced a good race. They were 3rd and 4th. It could have been swapped either way, and I wouldn't care. So Silver. Let's say Ferrari.
this is the driver rankings.
And you put a safety car in there not
He
not
said
2 weeks ago.
No, I gave the safety car driver.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I did.
Gold.
Okay.
Liam Lawson.
Mhm.
Now I've got him here mostly because it would piss you off, so that gives me great pleasure.
That's not what's.
But well done, well done to Liam. Top Red Bull.
God, you're such a fanboy.
No, I'm
I
not.
want to call you a different F
No,
word.
I just like how much it just triggers you. It's great. It'll be a pleasure to see him back down in 15th next week. So. And then Diamond,
Diamond, he's skipping platinum.
I am because I am giving that
Drum roll.
a tie. Both Lando and Oscar.
So how could you tie the drivers on a diamond, but you'll put 2 drivers in silver?
Well, you know,
You've
'cause
gone from 5 categories to 4, and somehow you've put 6 drivers in it.
yeah. I mean,
And you have
Oscar- I couldn't split him. Oscar definitely, to me, was the stronger driver, but Lando got the win. He got the
So
weekend
what?
done.
Since when does that mean you're the best driver?
Oh, I'm just saying, McLaren were the final boss,
Exactly.
and they are in my list as
This
well.
is the first time for me, and it's not even just a hater thing. I've given Lando his flowers in the past.
Mhm.
I couldn't give him the final boss. For
Yeah.
the first time, the winner, in my eyes, has not been
Yeah.
the final boss. I had
And
to give it to the team.
that's
as a
why
whole.
my list is the superior list.
Your list is shit. Your list makes no sense. Your list isn't even a fucking list.
Yes, it is.
Our driver rankings of 5 people. You put a team in there. You
Yeah.
knock the whole ranking off, and you got
At least
6
I had
drivers in it.
people that were in the race and not a safety car.
Why are you bringing up past stuff for?
Well, I'm just trying
And
to
the
make that
safety
make
car
sense.
was in the race.
I'm just
right?
saying, make that make
Safety
sense.
car was in the
Oh
race.
yeah, what did he place?
Fucking 21st.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
It didn't exist. All right.
I'm going to change the driver rankings to just Raymond's rankings.
Whatever. Sunday Sesh. You're such a DTS fanboy. It makes me sick.
DTS fanboy.
Yeah, I'm calling it already.
Can't wait for the next season.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
gonna be- it's
I
gonna
know.
be so much
I haven't
drama.
watched a full season in probably 4 years.
Can I just say, I was always open to the F1 movie,
10
and
seconds.
we're gonna see this in
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I was gonna say a couple of days, but time
Okay.
has slipped away from me. And I've always been like, yeah, I'll go see it. I'm
Getting bored.
keen. Yep. You from day one were like, nah, don't care, don't want it.
Are you
Not
peeking
gonna
behind-
see
are you
it.
Peeking behind the curtain here.
What did you say? What did you say to me just before?
Well,
I'm actually keen for this.
I listened to a podcast that was talking to the director, and then the way he was describing some stuff, I was like, all right, we'll see how it goes. Like, they're putting in he put at least 4 years of effort.
Yeah, you're
4
like,
years of effort they've put into this, and I can see, you know,
you knew that before. You knew Brad Pitt was in there before, but what'd you say before?
well,
Of course, I want to see it. Brad Pitt's in
no. See, you're taking things out of context here, right?
Am I?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I spoke to a mate a couple of days ago, and he said, "Oh, let me know how the movie is." And I said, I'm probably not the best to get that from, because I'm not just going to see a blockbuster. Like, I'm going to see it knowing that Brad Pitt is going to be standing on a freaking Formula 1 podium next to Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Make that make sense. I'm going to look at that and go, this is literally the dumbest thing ever.
Well,
But I will try and enjoy the movie. I will try.
The equivalent of that is I saw a thing that Brad Pitt being in this movie doing what he's doing is the equivalent of Johnny Herbert coming back to F1 and deciding to enter a team and race again because they're the same age.
I really hope in their heyday,
Can you imagine?
Sonny Hayes was better than Johnny Herbert.
Can you imagine him strapping up and being like, I'm returning to F1?
Yeah, that would actually be sick. I'd be all for it. If you need someone to replace Stroll.
Well, yeah.
I mean, hey,
yeah,
we've just...
It couldn't be worse.
We've just very clearly laid out how we feel about the race, the movie. So when we come back in 2 episodes' time to debrief the movie,
You
can call me out then if I decide that
I
it's a
can't
fucking
wait.
banger.
I very much expect you to be like, oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I don't
And
think
just
so. I don't
sign on. You're going to tell everyone to see it.
I don't
You're going to
think I
buy the
can-
merch. You're going to buy the
I don't mind the
$50 helmet popcorn bucket.
No, they probably won't even have that here because this is Australia.
No,
They don't get cool
Depends on
things.
what cinema you go to, apparently.
All right, Sunday Sesh, I'm going to ask you a question of something that happened on this day. If you get it right, you're an F1 purist. If you get it wrong, you're a Drive to Survive fanboy / F1 movie fanboy, which we all know you already are. And our Box Bashers get a tick in the opposite column.
It's been too easy for me lately.
It has, and I really do fear that you'll get this one too, to be honest. But all right, a modern F1 driver was born on this day.
So someone that's currently in the
No.
grid.
If you let me finish the question,
Alright.
stop getting ahead of yourself. He recently left the sport,
Okay.
and his most recent team was Williams, who was born on this day.
Oh man. So just repeat the. Go ahead. Do you still have hints?
I got hints. Yeah,
okay.
feel
Can you
free to.
Just repeat the question for me. And
A modern Formula 1
enunciate.
driver was born. Enunciate. God. A modern F1 driver was born on this day. He recently left the sport, and his most recent team was Williams, who was born on this day.
I'm really struggling to remember who was in Williams recently.
Good. That's where I was hoping.
Yeah, I mean, they don't exactly grab headlines recently.
They had 3 drivers last year. That's not a hint.
They had 3 drivers last
I'm
year.
just saying.
Yeah.
There's quite a pool to pick from. Clock is
There was Sargent. There was Gotifi. And there was...
I said recent. I didn't say how recent.
Yeah. Okay, give me a hint.
He's
hit
Canadian.
one. He's Canadian. Why are you looking like that? Just giving it away straight away.
I didn't look at it. What are you talking about?
Okay, he's Canadian.
I didn't think that would help you that much, which is why I put those.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to shuffle my other hints around now, I think.
All right, give me the second hint.
I don't want to. I feel like the next two, but thank you. He is a major part in a recent bombshell controversy. I'm just gonna give you 2.
You're not going to give me the third hint. He's a major part in a recent bombshell controversy. Okay. Williams.
Feel free to think out loud. So the box bashers aren't sitting here in awkward silence thinking we've just clicked off.
Well, who's left?
So, yeah, at this point, it's just me.
Whoa, hang on.
Well, you get it right.
I watched
Oh,
it with
watch
you as well. Yeah.
True.
And
Dad.
Hey, we're
Dad, shout out to
we're
Dad.
the biggest fans of the show.
Shout out to Mum too. See if she's still listening.
Yeah. Okay. No one's really coming right to my mind, to be honest. I
Feel
just
free
have
to throw the towel in.
not paid enough attention. So you're not going to give me the.
I'm not
third
going to
hint?
give you 13. I'll tell you after because I know you're going to get it right.
All
I
right.
think. I'm pretty confident.
Sargent wasn't Canadian.
He's American.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
most
then who did I say? Latifi. I don't know where he's from, but I don't feel like it was from Canada.
Canadian.
And I can't think of who I'm missing. Yeah, I know it's going to be obvious as soon as you say the name.
Mm-hmm.
So I will. Wish I had a better time frame.
Tick tock, motherfucker.
I will go. No, I can't think of anyone. I can't think of a Canadian driver.
So you throwing the towel in?
Who's the?
I don't know.
Who's the guy I'm thinking of?
Couldn't tell you. Mark Webber,
Robert Kubica?
Kubica.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. I'll lock him in.
Okay, wrong. All right, cool. Wrap that up.
Who was
The
it?
last hint, which is not. We're done now. This is you're a fanboy. You I was going to call you something.
Yeah.
Shouldn't. He's often referred to as a goat.
Oh, so it was Latifi.
Latifi.
Yeah.
I can't
okay.
believe the major part in the recent bombshell controversy, the
What?
2021 Abu Dhabi.
Oh, well, that wasn't. I'm
That's-
thinking it was in the news, like
Nah,
basically in the last week or so.
we made it news 2 months ago.
Yeah, you threw me.
That
on my
was a
bum
controversy. No,
I see what
No.
you're doing. Recent
you were
controversy.
literally sitting there spitballing the TV. I was like, you're going to throw this out and you're going
You
to get it
just
right. aren't
said
you?"
half an hour ago. Oh, I can't believe Abu Dhabi was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's a recent controversy. That's the most controversial thing that's happened to Formula One recently.
I didn't think he was Canadian. to be
Yeah, I
honest.
was neither.
Yeah, I
But-
thought he was like
When you said go
Eastern
TV, that's when I was
European or
like,
something.
okay, I can't say that.
So I kind of got it. You give me half a
kinda
point.
No, nope, 0 points. 0 points for you. All right, well.
Alright.
that
Well,
does.
Austria was fun. I
was.
really enjoyed that race, even if the results didn't quite go the way we wanted.
Hey,
but
I really, really, really enjoyed the first 20 minutes.
I enjoyed the last 10 laps. I was high off hopium, so I thought he would still snag him at the end there, but not to be. I am more pumped, however, for Silverstone next week. I am so stoked that we have another back-to-back. We only have to literally wait like 4 more days, and they're back. They're back racing, so it's great.
Lulu hasn't finished off the podium there since 2013.
Yeah, they had a great race now, so they got a bit of momentum. So I imagine
You
he'll
love
be.
that.
Thinking,
You love thinking momentum is based off one race.
Wow, you're only as good
You
as your
gotta
last race.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I hope that's incorrect though.
Yeah.
Going forwards.
Who do you? All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Who's qualifying on pole? Who's getting the race win?
Pole. Oscar. Race
Oscar?
Oscar. Yeah, I'm just going to
You're
do
just
it.
gonna go double
Well,
Oscar.
Whoever qualifies a pole tends to take the win this year. That's not a shocker. So
Yeah.
and I'm going to I'm just going to be full on hope until I'm proven wrong.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to go, Lando? You would, wouldn't you? Say it. Say it.
No, because
Say
I do believe the curse of the home race. I do believe that's a thing.
It doesn't. It's not for the Brits. Look what Hamilton does every year. Carves up.
Yeah, but Lando's no Hamilton. All right.
No, but I don't think Silverstone carries that curse. We've spoken about why Australia is cursed for Australians. That's been documented here.
You've asked my opinion. I've given it.
So tell me who's going to take pole in the win.
I do think Oscar bounces back. I don't know if he gets pole. I'll put him down for the race win. Pole. I'll go a cheeky Hamilton.
That's nuts.
Why not? Why
Yeah.
not?
Well, I hope you're right because that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
But I think you're really
he got
wrong.
a sprint win at China,
Yeah, correct.
so he can still.
Yeah, I
do
mean,
something.
if there's going to be, if I was to pencil him in for a result, it's going to be
It's got to be here, right?
Silverstone.
Yeah.
Um,
Do we see a potential?
I just don't think they're
fifth
close enough.
driver win. Is it?
Yeah,
I think
it's-
it's
yeah,
fifth. Yeah. So we'll see.
we'll see. Otherwise, we'll catch up tomorrow for the movie. Then we'll,
Yeah, stoked.
we'll-
And clearly you are. You can't wait.
I am pretty excited.
Yeah, I imagine to get
Get out
there,
of
you'll
the
already
house.
be there
I'm
in the
not,
chair.
for me to not be at
Stacked
your
up.
house, my house, or work is an achievement. So excited to yeah.
Well, speaking of, get the hell out.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
GG's.
See you on the next one.
Catch ya.